Good morning, Cougars, and welcome to Memorial Day. My name is Grace Lorena, and today we have a special video segment for you to help celebrate this essential national holiday. Recently, we were able to interview Sam Luna, the president of the Vets Journey Home Texas, which is an organization that provides healing, honor, hope, and homecoming for service veterans and their families. Mr. Luna is a United States Armed Service veteran who is awarded the Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Vietnam Service Medal with 4 clusters, the Gallantry Cross, and Good Conduct Medal. Memorial Day is a time for remembering our fallen servicemen and women and the sacrifices that they made for our country and for our freedom. So we asked Mr. Luna to share some insights with us about being in the armed services and about recalling our American heroes on this special day.
Mr. Luna, were you drafted into the service or did you enlist?
No, I was one of those draftees. One of those college students got drafted the minute I walked away from campus.
Where were you living at the time?
Well, I was born and raised in Central Texas, and so I was living in San Marcos, Texas. That's my hometown, and that's where I departed for the military.
Why did you join the service?
Well, like I said, I was drafted and really had not much choice. But of course, the war was going on. You know, it was a big talk in all the college campuses and everywhere. And so, didn't want to go, but it was, the country called, and so so you go, and it was an incredible experience.
Can you share a memory you have from your first days in service?
Well, the days in service. Well, I remember leaving and flying in this old plane. A bunch of guys from San Antonio. They flew us to Fort Polk, Louisiana. It seemed like it was whatever plane it was, military plane. It was old, but just roaring it down. I got to basic training. My first experience. And so 150, 200 guys, four squads. I mean, 4 platoons. Or there 4 platoons, and so there was enough guys from Texas where in the company we were the Texas platoon. So it was very competitive, and trying to be the best, and we were the best, and I think we had an advantage over all the other guys because we were all from Texas, and so we had something to fight for, and I remember it being a very good experience, 8 weeks.
Which war did you serve in?
Well, because of my age, and then so many years ago, that was Vietnam. Vietnam was going on, and so after my year of training and 8 weeks of on-the-job training as a drill instructor, after I finished the academy, the last role was a drill instructor for an advanced infantry training cycle, and then I was off to Vietnam. It was hot in Texas in June, but nothing compared to landing in Vietnam in June. Very hot. All the military bases, a lot of sand. Cam Ranh Bay, where I landed, it was a huge place. And so I was in the land of Vietnam for a war, and my arrival, and I was ready to go.
Did you see combat, and if so, can you share a memory of what it was like?
Well, that's a tough question, and I wasn't in a lot of combat, but I was in combat several times, but I don't remember. See, and that's now I see as a gift that whatever happened to me and all those awful things, because combat is. Everything goes crazy, and you're trained, and your adrenaline is really going, and so all the hollering and all that stuff about, what people want and they want to do and all, whatever. I don't have exact memories of all the combat situations I was in, but last year I attended my first military reunion. I had not been to a military reunion, so I met with a guy who was the driver on the armored personnel carrier that we were on at that time, and I told him about that incident, if it really had occurred, or how it had occurred, and he told me how it occurred. And so it was sort of a scary moment to know that I had been in this firefight and I had done what I did.
Can you share an experience where you lost a fellow soldier?
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't remember losing that many. In our company, I think, well, I'm sure we remember, we lost about 3 or 4 guys during the 9 months I was there. I was a squad leader at the time, so I was in charge of 8 or 9 guys in my squad, and there's 4 squads in a platoon, and so this one night, as a squad leader, I was in charge of a patrol. At night, when you're in a base camp, you go out, you take a patrol out where they suspect that there's enemy activity, and so when it gets dark, you walk out and you go to this place that they tell you to go to, and you set up an ambush. So anyway, we walk back to where the road is, and I call in. Well, you call in, say we're moving, and then you call in, we say we're at the road. So as we get to the road, there's my squad, my platoon is coming to get me, 4 tracks. We're going to open up the road and I'll clear the road with the engineers because they're checking for mines that had been set up during the night, and so they're coming to pick us up and take us back. My track got hit with a bomb, a rocket went through it, and Austin Chenoweth was a young man, 20 years old, 21, from Colorado, and he jumped inside when the rocket came or whatever, and it killed him. And the assistant squad leader on my track was firing the machine gun, and he had one leg hanging inside, and so when the rocket came in, it took off his leg and killed Austin.
Can you share with us what Memorial Day means to you?
Well, I mentioned, all those friends, a couple of them, and there's a few others that, that were lost. After going to that reunion last year, I started looking at my unit's website. So I started looking at the months after I left to see what happened the months after I left, and last year I found out that Taylor, one of the guys in my squad, the month after I left, he got killed. And we were very close, All those guys, along with where I grew up, in my hometown that I mentioned, there's about 8 or 9 guys that went to Vietnam and didn't come back. And so Memorial Day is about, thinking about them, remembering them. For me, America thinking about all the lives is a big number. And so it's a time to remember and to honor them. And this is an incredible experience for me to be able to do this on Memorial Day.